Karin from streetfire.net, and today we have the great opportunity of reviewing Kawasaki's #1 selling product, the Kawasaki Ninja 250. The legacy of the Ninja 250 goes back over 20 years to 1986, and it's come a long way, as you can see, but our reviews really haven't. So, Jonathan, dude, this review kind of sucks. I mean, is there something we can do to make it a little more interesting? I can't work under these freaking conditions. I mean, we're not doing this bike justice. We got to do a review that's, I don't know, more exciting. This is lame.
No way. Is that the new Ninja 250?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it is. We're just about to do a review on it. Do you ride?
Yeah, of course. I just started shopping for a bike like a month ago.
So I almost didn't recognize the bike. It looks like they've made a lot of changes.
This bike is actually a lot different than the previous model. The previous model has been around for years, and it's been a #1 selling bike for Kawasaki. This year they really stepped up to the plate. They actually changed this bike 70% from the last model. This bike is actually designed for, a very broad range of riders, whether beginner or experienced. 70% of people that purchase this motorcycle are actually beginners. 33% are women, so it's, it has a very broad appeal.
Why would this be a great bike for me, since I'm both a woman and a beginner?
There's a couple things that make this bike a great, option for you. One of those things, and one of the main things actually, is the seat height on this machine. Kawasaki has done some, studies in the past, and one of the biggest confidence boosters for beginning riders and women alike is the fact that they can actually put both feet on the ground. Another thing that's really great on it is actually the handlebar position. It's not quite as aggressive as a lot of the super bikes out there, so it's really comfortable, it doesn't hurt the wrist very much, and low impact for beginning riders.
So what about power? Is this still going to be a fun bike to ride?
Well, actually, it's funny you asked that, because they actually made some significant improvements to the engine this year. One of those things would be new camshafts and new valves, even a cam chain tensioner that actually reduces vibration. This motorcycle has 30% better mid-range than the previous model.
So is that going to make it easier for me to ride?
Yeah, what it's going to do for an average rider is basically, compared to the previous model, when you're on the road, you're going to lose some of that top end speed, but when you're in the mid-range, so you're cruising down the highway and you need that little extra power to overtake cars or whatever. It's there. You don't have to be
race.
Well, I don't know about race, but it's significant enough to where you can actually enjoy the motorcycle and not be concerned that you don't have enough power there, right? So the previous model, as good as it was, this one's got a little more power, and you're going to be blown past all those little Honda Rebels on the roads.
So all those stats and stuff are pretty interesting, but what's it going to take for me to get on one of these?
Well, the MSRP for this motorcycle is $3,499.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Wow, that was so worth it. I think I'm in love with that girl. So, what'd you think?
It's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, it was a great ride.
Well, I can't say that I'm really surprised, because they made some really great improvements to the suspension on this motorcycle. On the front, they added a brand new 37mm Showa front fork, and on the rear, they actually added a new Kayaba rear shock that's actually adjustable 5 ways on the preload. Basically, it gives it a little bit more stiffer ride. Another great way that they helped with the ride on this motorcycle is that they added new 17-inch wheels. 17-inch tires are more readily available, so you can go to any tire store and pick them up much easier than you could the old model.
So I guess I only have one real question left about the bike. Let's talk fuel injection. I guess this bike's still a carburetor?
They actually decided to keep this bike as a carbureted model mainly because the American market demands it. You know, Americans typically, they want to stay in that price range, under $3,500 for this type of motorcycle. You know, they're not willing to spend the extra money that the Europeans are for the fuel injection option.
So gas prices are getting pretty crazy. What are we talking here?
Well, you know what? This is a great thing about this bike. It gets an estimated 50 miles per gallon, which, I mean, from what I know, is more than a Prius.
I drive a Prius, it definitely is.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, see, I mean, you can get this bike for a fraction of the cost of that Prius and ride it, enjoy it, you know, have a lot of fun with it and get great gas mileage at the same time. You can even take this motorcycle out on Friday night and have a great time. Speaking of which, what are you doing this Friday?